Sometimes, the stories that move people the most don't arrive with breaking news banners or official statements. They don't begin with headlines or press conferences. They begin quietly, in the space between appearances, in subtle changes, in moments fans notice, but don't immediately speak about. This feels like one of those moments. In recent weeks, fans of Shin Min Ah have found themselves asking a question they aren't even sure they want answered. It's not trending aggressively. It's not being pushed by tabloids. Instead, it lives softly, in comment sections, private conversations, and careful observations framed with words like maybe, possibly, and if true. The question is simple, but deeply personal. Could Shin Min Ah be pregnant? To be very clear, there has been no confirmation, no official statement, and no verified report from Shin Min Ah, Kim Woo-bin, or their representatives. Everything discussed exists entirely within fan observation and speculation, nothing more. And yet, this conversation didn't come from nowhere. It came from patterns. Longtime fans know Shin Min Ah is consistent. In her choices. In her presence. In how she navigates both fame and privacy. She is deliberate, never careless. So when something shifts, even subtly, people notice. It didn't start with one dramatic moment. It started with quietness. Fans noticed that Shin Min Ah had become less publicly visible. Not gone. Just quieter. Fewer casual appearances. Fewer unexpected sightings. When she did appear, it was often in controlled, intentional settings. At first, fans attributed this to newly married life, a natural desire to slow down, to protect intimacy, to live without constant visibility. Then came the next detail. Her styling. Recent appearances showed her favoring looser silhouettes, flowing fabrics, and comfort-forward fashion. On its own, this means nothing. Fashion evolves. Comfort is personal. But fans who've followed her for years compared notes. Historically, Shin Min Ah favored tailored elegance, defined waistlines, clean structure, intentional cuts. Seeing repeated relaxed choices didn't spark conclusions, but it did spark curiosity. Then fans began discussing her body language. She appeared calmer. Slower. More grounded. Less rushed. Her presence carried a softness that some described as settled, others as protected. A few fans mentioned what they called nesting energy, though many quickly cautioned against projecting expectations onto a woman's body or life. Still, the observation lingered. Another pattern fans noticed involved Kim Woo-bin. In recent sightings, fans described him as more attentive, standing closer, adjusting his pace to hers, guiding her gently through crowds. These are normal gestures between loving partners, yes. But fans felt there was an added layer of care. Not ownership. Not control. Protection. Then came smaller moments. At a private gathering, Shin Min Ah reportedly declined alcohol. Alone, this means nothing. Many people don't drink. At another appearance, fans noted she avoided standing for extended periods. Again, completely normal. But fans don't look at moments in isolation. They look at accumulation. What stands out most is how respectful the conversation has been. There's no invasive language. No entitlement. No demands. Fans consistently add disclaimers. If it's not true, that's okay. If it is true, I hope she's healthy. Either way, she deserves peace. This gentleness is likely shaped by the couple's shared history, especially Kim Woo-bin's past health struggles, which taught fans patience, boundaries, and restraint. This is a couple that has never treated their private life as content. And because of that, fans seem unwilling to cross lines. Instead, they observe quietly. They notice that Shin Min Ah looks well. Peaceful. Supported. And for many fans, that alone is enough. But the question still. Softly. And that brings us to part 2. As the conversation continued, something interesting happened. Instead of growing louder, it grew more careful. Fans began actively reminding each other not to speculate recklessly, especially when it comes to women's bodies. They emphasized that peace, glow, and softness do not automatically mean pregnancy. This pushback was strong, and widely supported. Which revealed something important: this fanbase has matured. They are not asking when. They are not asking why. They are not asking for proof. They are simply acknowledging a shift, and respecting it. Some fans revisited older interviews where Shin Min Ah spoke about life beyond work. She often emphasized balance, emotional richness, and choosing a full life outside the industry. She never discussed motherhood directly, but she consistently spoke about intention. Fans wonder if this quieter season reflects that philosophy. Others pointed out her work schedule appears more selective. Fewer intense filming commitments. More space between projects. Again, not evidence. Just observation. And still, the dominant sentiment remained unchanged. Whatever this season is, it should be protected. One word appeared repeatedly in fan discussions. Protected. Protected by her partner. Protected by her boundaries. Protected by a life intentionally built away from noise. One fan comment that resonated deeply said, "Whether she's pregnant or not isn't the point. She looks safe." And that's beautiful. That sentiment captures the heart of this story. Because this isn't really about pregnancy. It's about transition. It's about watching someone step into a softer chapter, and choosing not to intrude. The wedding itself felt symbolic to many fans. Quiet. Intentional. A chapter closing gently, another opening with care. In that context, it's natural for people to wonder what comes next, not out of entitlement, but emotional connection. Still, restraint prevails. No assumptions. No pressure. No urgency. Just patience. And perhaps that's why this story hasn't turned chaotic. Because sometimes, the most loving response is silence. To let someone live. To let a season unfold. To accept that some stories don't belong to the public until, or unless, the person living them decides to share. For now, fans seem content with what they can see. Shin Min Ah looks peaceful. She looks supported. She looks grounded. And whether that comes from love, health, personal growth, or something entirely private, it's enough. So this story remains what it should be. A possibility. A whisper. A moment of collective curiosity held gently. Because in a world that constantly asks for access, sometimes the most powerful thing fans can do is wait.